Home is where connections are made, memories are formed, and ideas are born. And no one knows home better than NFM. Thanks for tuning in to I Am Home, the podcast that goes deeper than trends and dives into what it means to make your house a home.
Hello and welcome to I'm Home, the Home Life Best Life podcast. I'm Tyler Weisgup, joined by my co-host who brings peak coziness and calm to every episode. It's Becca Sudbeck.
Hi, Tyler.
Hi, Becca. And our other co-host, she's the warm glow in our seasonal affective souls. It's Hillary Waltham.
Shucks. Hey, Tyler.
Hi, Hillary. And today we're joined by someone who knows how to boost comfort and recovery and overall wellness at home, especially when it's dark and cold outside. Please welcome our small appliance expert, Andy Paulsen.
Hi, Tyler. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thanks for being here. And we're going to be talking a little bit about trending air quality, home cleanliness, generally speaking. If you've been feeling kind of the winter slump, this episode is going to be really good for you. It's going to help you kind of get into that wellness vibe, especially good for the new year. But first, let me tell you why we're even doing this podcast. And that's because NFM is more than just your everything home store. We're in the business of improving lifestyles because your home life should be your best life. Learn more at nfm.com. And Andy, before we talk gadgets, I wondered if we could zoom out a little bit. And this question is for the whole gang here too. But in the wintertime, the air is changing, our routines are changing, our bodies are definitely feeling it. Why, generally speaking, why does winter push people towards these wellness solutions?
I look at it for several reasons. The holidays is coming up, so a lot of people are hosting parties for the Thanksgiving, the different holidays that are out there, which means they want to keep their house clean and pristine for their guests and also for themselves. In my family, it seems like every time there's a holiday get together, the kids all get together, the grandkids, somebody ends up sharing some sort of a cold or something.
100%.
And then it just snowballs from there.
Goes for a few weeks.
It goes for a few weeks. And it's also the whole holidays from the school. The kids are kind of in the middle of it. The cold temperatures, the different sicknesses from school work their way through the house as well. So helping that is one thing. The change in weather with the snow and the rain, the sleet, the yards get a little bit dirtier and muddier. If you have pets, bringing that inside, the muddy paw prints.
Speaking right to me, the worst.
I have two dogs. One of them is extremely large and he's got giant footprints that you'll find a muddy print. Somehow he'll make it 3/4 of the way into the house. And
right. How does,
so that's
on the white
you think
carpet.
you're good. And then,
that's the big thing there. Also with that is, keeping your house a little bit warmer during the cold times of the year. When I work from home, my office is in the basement, which is notoriously freezing. I have to have a good space heater or something in the area to help keep me a little bit warmer. But then also with New Year's resolutions, that type of thing, I've known a lot of people that want to make a resolution to keep their house clean. And make sure they are maintaining that a little bit better than they did the year before. So.
That starts to weigh on you mentally too. I think the home that feels like
perpetually a little dirty.
When you're stuck in your home a lot more because of the weather, and then you see the mess that you didn't really expect to
you
be
don't
a
escape
mess.
it.
There's always someone.
One thing that I don't know that I think about a ton, but in preparation for this episode, the humidity's dropping, that furnace is running nonstop. You've got
so
stuff
dry.
pushing out in the air,
crazy.
the dryness and just air and dander. And you ever get that light shining at the perfect angle, and then you just see all of the things that are just floating around.
We have one of those Dysons with I don't know what kind of light it is, but
The laser that goes across the floor.
Oh, we call it laser hair removal.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's so bad though. You're like, wait a second. Everything just got vacuumed yesterday.
It's fine.
How is this possibly all what?
Those are both more fun and also more disturbing to
Yes.
use when you do it with the lights off.
I wish you could turn that light off.
Yeah.
But if you vacuum with the lights off and just the laser light, that's interesting.
It's really, really bad.
Yeah. Dan calls it laser hair removal. So it turns all the lights off.
Laser hair. I know I grabbed a couple facts here. According to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, when homes are sealed up for the winter, the windows shut and heating on, pollutants can build up and indoor air quality can worsen. The American Lung Association reports that indoor air during winter with heating on and closed windows can be 2 to 5 times more polluted than outdoor air, which I don't know
Believable.
that like you think about a ton during the winter because you're just like, I'm inside. Like what like why would that be so bad?
Well, you wouldn't think about it, but when you're trapped inside, anything that you're bringing inside from outside stays there.
And just recycling.
And that could be pet dander as well. It could be just like you said, laser hair. It could be hair that moves around.
Yeah.
It could be if you bought new products anywhere, if there's some sort of off-gassing that comes off of them, where certain air purification can remove those harmful pollutants out of the air, even formaldehyde in some cases, if you get a product that has that. So you can buy new clothes, and when those clothes come in the house until you wash them, they could also have that. So,
Fair.
you know, getting the right product to help you during that time of year where you're stuck in there with it, it does
All
help
your
quality of
holiday
life.
gifts having like some weird smells.
Even wrapping
and,
paper.
like the wrapping paper. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All
I
right.
think about like our home is older, and so like it's just like with that there's like a lot of dust that's collected, but have some friends that moved into a new home, like new build, and what I didn't consider was like the amount of dust they have too.
So
like
much
it
from the
takes
new build.
and then
it's like settles over a few months. You're like,
and there's building around them, so there's all of that being tracked in. So you think you expect that with older homes, like for that to be a problem, but I'm like, new homes too. It's regardless of your situation.
Escape it.
Yeah.
And that's why we have some great solutions for you that we want to talk about. I think we can start with air quality. And I know that a lot of these have like heat combination today as well. But like dry, stale, heater blasted, classic winter air, how does like better air actually translate to like either better sleep or to like just better quality in your home, fewer sinus issues? Can we speak to that a little bit?
Well, I know if you're talking to my wife, she'd say a warmer room would keep her sleeping better. I like it cold. For some reason, I'm weird that way. But if you get a unit that does both air purification and heat, you kind of get the best of both worlds with that. You're removing some of those allergens, the pet danders, some of the pollutants out of the air. Anything that gets drummed up when your AC or your heat unit kicks on. If you have a wood burning fireplace, that type of thing, it helps remove that out of the air, which means you're going to potentially not be sneezy or having some certain like sinus problems when you're sleeping. If you're like me and you want it a little bit colder, you can get a unit you can turn that off on, or you can get a humidifier as well to keep the dry air at a minimum, so it keeps it a little bit more moist, so you don't have the really dry skin or the dry inside of your nose that starts hurts.
I get bloody noses every winter.
That's been a problem in my house with a couple of my kids.
Same. And it's a mess.
Like what is actually happening with those products? Like when you get an air purifier, like what is the like function it's like pulling stuff in? Where does it go? Like if people don't like understand why they need it, I think maybe explaining that might help.
Depending on the unit you buy, some of it is more passive, where it will just gradually draw the air in from the surrounding area, and then it'll pass through a filter, which then will strain out basically the pollutants, the allergens, the danders, that type of thing. If you have one that has UV capabilities, that also kills bacteria and some bacteria and viruses to help keep that out of the air for like colds, those type of problems you might see during this time of year. And basically then it pushes the air back out. Now, depending on the unit, if you have one with cooling capability or heating capability, then it pumps it out as either hot or cold air as well. There are also units that have humidification, humidifier properties, where it'll pump out the humid air, but then it'll kind of recycle it back down. And if the water molecules attached to anything that's in the air, like a smoke particle, it brings it back in and kind of cleans the air. It's a little less of a purifier, but it helps clean a lot of it out while keeping it more humid in your home.
Interesting. We've talked before about humidifiers, and sometimes there's some nervousness because you're like, if my house gets wet, like when you get moldy or bad, like how do like these things are smart and do that for us, or do like we have to dial that in? Like how do you make sure that you're safe with humidifying if you need that?
So with your own unit, when you purchase one, some of them have digital readouts. The one I have, so I live in a house that was built in 1971. It's a little bit older. It's had a bit of water damage over the years. You can tell when we moved in. We've got it repaired and everything's nice. But you always have that thought in the back of your head, is there something growing in the walls? It's an old house. You just don't know. And the unit that we have actually gives a readout of the different particulates that are in the air, from be it smoke, or is it mold spores, or is it pet dander, or other types of allergens. And then it tells you a percentage of how clean that air is. So if I think a room might be having a problem, I would wonder, I'm just going to move this unit to my room and I'll turn it on, and it'll tell me if it's an accurate reading or not. So it gives me a very good peace of mind that my house is actually cleaner than I thought it was. So
Interesting. That's crazy because like when I bought a house, you had to like do a mold test and you had to send it away. And like some scientists in the lab coat, I assume, had to like do the readouts. So like now, like these tools are doing this kind of stuff for you.
It gives you a good idea if you need to have those tests done. So if you see a reading above a certain level, it might make you think, maybe there's something I need to
dig a
have
little deeper
looked
in
at
this.
and have an expert take a look at this. But in the meantime, you can be assured that at least in the room that you've got that unit, if it's reading clean, you have clean air.
Peace of mind.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so like if someone's in the market for air quality, heat, or humidification, like where do you tell them to go? Like what's a good starting place, I guess, for you to identify what you think you need versus like being able to
room size, number one. How big of a room do you need to have clean, or like air cleaned, or heated up for that matter? And then based on that, you can kind of go down the line in each one of the vendors and find out which one can clear a room of that size, or heat a room or cool a room of that size. And then you go by, what other types of features you might want. Are you looking at something that is going to clean out viruses or bacteria? And so you get something with UV capabilities. Or are you looking for something that's more of the allergies? You got pets and that you're just going to have a lot of pet dander. So, the standard types of allergens and how it would be cleaned out. Are you looking something that you have to switch a filter out, or something where you can just kind of clean a filter so you never have to actually replace it out unless you really want to? So there are certain options that you can look at and ways to start, but I always go with room size first.
Yeah, smart place to start, because you don't want to like have something that's underpowered and not going to be able to
doing what you need
match
to
the
do.
room, or like you don't want to overbuy either.
And then you want the features of, do you want to turn it on yourself, just leave it at a passive, or do you want to leave it on auto mode so it'll kick into high gear when you need to? The unit that we have, we have a big open floor plan. So somewhere along the line, there's a couple walls that were taken out. So we've got our kitchen with a nice island, but we've got the dining room and the big living area. So you can get to one corner of the room, you can see the entire room. So we've got it kind of in one corner, not in the kitchen, but kind of close by. But when we cook something, like I was cooking something with a decent amount of chipotle pepper in it the other day, and that was in the air, and I heard the unit kick on to high gear because it realized that it was needing it, and it's got a readout. It's green, it's clean. If it's yellow, it's a little bit, but if it's red, there's a lot. And it was red. So
interesting. Just from a seasoning.
Just from the seasoning, or if there's some smoke, or
smoke and oils and whatever is in the air. Yeah, it can.
When we leave our windows open, it'll tell us kind of what's happening. What's being blown inside. Shut the windows and tells you.
Things like that. Interesting. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Okay, so I think there's a lot to look at, think about when it comes to air quality. Next thing that we have on our list, though, we were talking about the muddy paws and like the snow, sleet, bring that stuff inside. So like holiday cleaning and floor care. So when you said that like floor care can actually be a wellness category.
Absolutely.
This time of year, like, why do you think that is?
Well, if you're looking at just the muddy paw prints like we were talking about, it might not be just mud. Pet could have stepped in some other type of mess outside, and you never know what ends up being in the house. So you can get certain things with steam capabilities, where that steam will then actively help destroy some of those bacteria, some of those viruses. It'll break up the problem spot and bring it basically to the surface and clean it up. And there are different types based on the type of floor. Is it a hardwood floor? Is it a vinyl floor? Is it a vinyl laminate floor? Is it a carpet? Is it a high pile, low pile? So you basically can pick a product with those types of features to help keep it not only clean just from the dust and the dog hair and the different kid messes that could be on the floor, but then also from removing some of those other types of issues off of the floor.
Yeah, we talked about the laser hair removal as an option, so that's one of those. So like for mixed flooring, I think a lot of us have like areas in the house that are carpet or a rug, and then you've got like more of your harder surfaces. Like, what's a simple rule for picking maybe the right tool?
A simple rule would be, if it's a mixed floor, how mixed is it? Is it straight to like a flat vinyl laminate wood floor to a carpet? Is it a shag rug, an area rug, just a low rug? What kind of clearance does it need to have? How deep does it need to get power wise? And then also with that, do you want something that does wet dry? So it can clean like a carpet as well, but then you can move it over to like a wet function on a harder surface. And if you have that, do you want it to also have the steam capabilities to help get those really tougher stains out and clean some of those problem areas with more disinfectant type of solutions?
Okay. So steam cleaning helping during cold and flu season, like, is it better than traditional mopping? Like, if I got just like, I mean, the mop and the bucket, and I've been doing that for years. So like, why?
It's becomes a little easier.
Okay.
You're not worrying about just all the water that comes down off of the mop and having to clean it up to let it then dry. Many units, they leave just an extreme bare minimum of the liquid down, so it dries extremely easy. So you're leaving an almost dry surface already. That way in my house, because I'm kind of a klutz, it reduces slips, trips, and falls hazards. So I've got weak ankles. I don't need to and have any other reason to fall down. So
well, I think like when it's like real wet in one footprint and it's like
it's right back.
It's you can see this like once wet footprint that's now dry.
If someone's like thinking about like a calmer, cleaner home, but like hates cleaning, do you like point them towards a specific solution?
Yes, a robot.
Okay.
Robots are awesome. They do the work for you. They do all your day-to-day maintenance of the home, clean. You can find some with mopping capabilities, depending on what you're looking for. Some with straight just vacuum capabilities. Some that also do heat. Basically, what I would recommend is the size of the house, what types of floors. If you've got a thicker rug on a lower floor, you can get some that actually raise up and then raise the mop up. So that way it doesn't get the carpet wet. You get some that have basically a drag and drop mop. It drops the mop and drags it behind it. Then you get other that actually have a mechanical function, either a spinning brush or like dual spinning discs. So it helps break up the mess or the problems. I have one with the discs basically, and it goes through a cleaning function before it uses it on those. You can throw them in your washing machine, pull them right off with Velcro, put some new ones on there.
Oh,
if
I
you want.
love that.
But otherwise, it actually cleans them. And then basically it goes through, it maps the room, it identifies the different areas. It was able to locate where my couch was and what the TV stand was because of the type of thing, the type of background it was seeing. They can map rooms using cameras or LiDAR, or even in touch and go, basically, where it bumps into something where it can step away and it'll remember that. But then you can also set it by quadrant. So if you have it set to run every night at 11 o'clock, you got a bit of a mess, you don't want it to wait till 9 o'clock, you can go to your app. And if you've got it set by quadrant, living room, kitchen, den, you can say clean the den, just mop function, or just vacuum, or both. Or on the unit I have, I can actually yell at it to say, hey, Vinny, because its name is Vinny. My kids love the name Vinny. Clean the kitchen, and it'll say cleaning mop function right now, and it'll go take care of it.
A robot named Vinny.
Yeah.
Some people may think that like, well, like how good is it going to actually like map out the area? I got like stuff all over the place, and I'm not like intentionally building my home design to like allow my, like in my head anyway, for a robot to run around and like make sure that it gets everything. So like how easy and does that functionality actually work when in practice? Homes are different and there's a lot of things going on from person to person.
Our house is a busy house. I've got 2 big dogs. I've got 3 kids, 15, 12, and 8. So there's something always on the floor that shouldn't be. It's ridiculous. It's always a pair of shoes or a sock that's over here or a Nerf gun that's over here. So we constantly we try to pick it up as best as we can, but obviously we're never going to get everything. Our dining room by itself, and this is the best example I can say, we've got a decent sized table with 6 chairs around it. Whether they're tucked in or not is where they're supposed to be, but that's a lot of different obstacles to
it's a lot of legs.
Just the legs. The robot will go out and it's got everything mapped, but just because it's been mapped in one spot, it learns to identify certain obstacles to go around them. And so you'll watch it just go around each table leg, each chair leg, and move its way around to clean where it's supposed to. It'll find new areas sometimes because somebody moved a chair or they had an area blocked off because there was a pillow for it and it didn't realize that it could clean back there. And so it'll find a new area and then help map that. Since the unit I have uses LiDAR, it actually has already mapped, since I have a split level house, it's mapped half of the floor on the bottom level and a bunch of the floor on the top level. It just can't get to it because of the steps, but it's already started mapping some of that. So it's not, I'm not saying there couldn't be an issue where it gets a little stuck every once in a while, but it's only because somebody trapped it while it was moving, where somebody put like a backpack down in front of it while it was in a corner or something like that. It's a fantastic product to have.
It's not
to help
just mapping once, it's like continually making sure that there isn't something new in its path.
And it constantly learns to find new ways over obstacles. So we go to a fairly thick kind of carpeting area rug in our main living area, and it has chosen different paths to get over that from the lower surface on the hard floor to find out the easiest way to. So it reduces the amount of times it could potentially get stuck or have to back up and try again.
Yeah. And you're not telling it to do stuff. You're not like, you just turned it on and let it go.
Yep. Every once in a while, I'll tell it, hey, go clean that because somebody dropped a bowl of soup or something.
Yeah. But like in setup purposes and like the mapping the room and things like that, it wasn't like something simple where you were like walking around like making sure.
Yeah, I remember my parents had one growing up, and it had like, I don't know, sensors or something that you had to put by the stairs so it didn't tumble down.
These units don't do that. They know when the steps hit, when it gets close to the steps and it backs away. Basically, you download the app on any of the main units that we carry at this point. You download the app. You turn the unit on and it goes through kind of a connection phase, and you get hooked up to the wireless to make sure it can do its updates, that type of thing. But then it says the first thing you do is send it out on a test run, and it goes and just starts mapping. It does it. And you can choose to map or map and clean at the same time. You're like, well, let's let it do its thing. And then it starts from there. And it just basically keeps an ongoing map of the last time that it ran and to potentially look for those same obstacles where they were. In my house, that isn't necessarily where they're going to be, but it's a smart unit.
Money.
And do I remember, I think it was like Berkshire time of last year, there was one that actually picked items up and moved them out of the way.
Yep. There was an arm on it. The unit has, it's one of those units that learns as it goes to try to identify different types of obstacles. At that point back at Berkshire, it was able to identify the difference between, I believe it was a mitten, a sock, a hat, and a dog toy, like a different type of dog toy. But then it would be able to pick the unit up or the obstacle up and then go take it to a designated drop-off point and then drop it off. That way it could help pick up your room from those types of things rather than get stuck on them.
I think Becca is
I can
making a purchase.
Dog toys.
Dog
toys are everywhere. My dog does not know how to clean up
they
after
don't.
itself.
Can't figure out how to put them back, right?
Most don't.
No.
I was gonna say, if that's a trick you could get your dog to do, you need to tell me how.
No.
Well, speaking of the pets, like some people might assume that like that's kind of heavy duty, and will a robot be able to like handle a house full of pets? You've got like 2 big dogs, or at least one big dog.
I've got 2 dogs. One's got very short fur. He doesn't shed a ton, but it's small, so it's easy enough for anything to pick up. My larger dog is part lab and part Newfoundland. So he doesn't have quite the length of hair like a full Newfoundland would have, but he's got that extremely thick undercoat. So he's constantly, depending on the time of year and if he's going through some stuff at that time, we have a neighbor that would feed him steak over the fence, and I had to ask the neighbor to stop because he was getting really fat. And he went through some stuff. And so he was losing hair a lot faster. But it'll come off in clumps or in just thick, like chunks of undercoat. And I have not had an issue as of yet with my robot being able to navigate, number one, around it, and 2, be able to clean it up.
Clumps of hair. Wow.
When he goes through things, we try to brush him out quicker first.
So does it just fill itself up and it knows that, oh, I gotta like dump it?
Yep. You get alerts on your app to let you know when things need to change. The unit I have has mopping functions, which means it's got for the solid waste and the dust and particulate, it's got bags. And the bag, you just basically pull one out. It automatically seals itself when you do. When you put the new one in, it clips in and automatically opens it up. But then there's a freshwater reservoir and a wastewater reservoir. So the fresh one, you just fill up with regular tap water. When the either wastewater functions are full, the status light on the base of itself shows red, so you know you need to go and check it out.
Do you have to use any sort of like solution in it, or
you can get different solutions for the wastewater, but you don't need to for the clean water reservoir. And actually, in the next quarter, they're having a new unit of that will actually when it fills up the robot with the clean water solution, or the clean water, it'll actually heat that up as well to get more of a mechanical and a heat clean on certain things. So they're constantly innovating. These companies that make these robots constantly innovate with their technology to make sure that they're continuing to deliver the highest quality product they can, so customers know when they're buying their product, they're getting what they're paying for out of it.
Yeah, because they're not cheap. I mean, you can find some that are, but like the ones that we're talking about that do all of the things and it's intuitive and they know what to do.
It is an investment, but if you pay attention during the course of the year, those manufacturers have extremely good sale prices where we can advertise on them, and they're awesome products at good prices that give you time back in your day.
The return on investment, not to be too.
If you don't have to spend the 30 minutes.
Well, and if you see differences in prices too, some of the lower price units, sometimes they're the same units that are at the higher price ones, but it's not an auto empty base.
Yeah.
It's just a charging station, meaning you're having to pick that unit up, take the dust container out of it and empty it manually every time. So if you're spending the extra money for the auto empty base, it's taking care of it all of you. You can kind of set and forget it for a month, 2 months at a time.
Wow, 2 month or 2 month.
Depends on how often you have it do the mopping function, basically, and what kind of schedule, but you can let it go for quite a while.
Wow, that's way longer than I would have guessed. I think I would have guessed like at least weekly, but
we do ours weekly, but we also make it clean like sometimes twice a day because my house is disgusting.
It's well lived, you know.
The spin on this scale.
Yeah.
All right.
I appreciate that.
Is there anything, Andy, that we haven't talked about in like the winter wellness appliances sphere that you want to highlight that you think is important for folks to know about?
Another thing would be like a spot cleaner. Having a handheld. There's different kinds, some that are more pet focused to be able to handle pet messes and fur a bit more. Some also have like a steam or hydro steam type of function. So it helps clean up and break up those messes a lot more. They're extremely handy to have. Sometimes they're about the size of a basketball size, maybe a little bit bigger, but they're easy to put away, put in a nice closet, bring it out when you need it for just single spots instead of having to bring out an entire carpet cleaner and run over an entire section. So I think those are extremely handy to have, especially this time of year when you're going to get those random paw prints. You're going to get a holiday guest that spills some of their holiday cheer and you don't need it on that white carpet. So those are extremely handy to have.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about floors a lot too, but we have like an upholstered bed that it's like spot clean too, or like spots on the sofa too. So that the handheld is so nice because you can hit so many of those other areas too.
Spilled sports drink in my back seat from one of my kids, cleaned it out real quick.
Oh yeah, the car. Yeah. Haul it out to your car.
Yeah. And that's a good way to like prevent from bringing in crap into your house too if your car's clean. So that's a good idea.
Yeah, energy drink be gone. It didn't need to be there, and it was gone. So
love that.
Awesome. Okay, well, thanks, Andy. This was so helpful. Thanks for sharing your knowledge and some of these awesome product ideas for us.
Of course.
Big thanks to my co-hosts Hillary and Becca, the producers Ann and Scott, and to all of you listening. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcast and send us your questions at nfm.com/podcast. Until next time, here's to making your home life your best life, one story at a time.
Thanks for joining us today for I Am Home with Tyler Weisskopf, Hillary Waltemath, and Becca Sudbeck. No one knows home quite like NFM. So if you'd like more information on home design at NFM, please check out nfm.com and leave us a review on the podcast platform of your choice.